Good evening, guys. We got another episode of Strat Chat here. I've got the that fucking Down Under legend over there, that Foster swilling fella himself, the preloader extraordinaire. We got Hynesy in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He is the spiritual lead of the ANZGC Alliance, and bringing everybody lots of fun on those Friday nights, those harpoons and beer sessions. He's got his own sessions in the morning as well, and all that Patreon work he does. He's like Christopher Walken. He's the busiest man on Twitch.
You need more cowbell.
Gotta have more cowbell, baby.
How you going? How you going, man? Thanks so much for having me. This is cool. I'll tell you what. I was really excited about joining you today, Yeti. I mean, I've gone off. I've obviously waxed my legs. I've had a tan. I mean, look, I'd have a crack at myself right now. I'm not gonna lie, mate. I'm looking pretty hot to trot right now, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the best I've ever seen you. Like, you've been working out or something. You came and you've got the chest all waxed. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. To see.
Yeah. No, I've gone to a bit of work today. Not gonna lie. I'm absolutely thrilled, mate. I mean, I'd only do it for a Canadian. I mean, let's be honest.
Of course.
But no, dude, it's an absolute thrill. We've been trying to do this for a while, and it's finally we're finally able to make it happen. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, brother.
It's like, thanks for being here. Thanks so much for setting an alarm and coming and joining us, because I know we got to grab you before work. So,
So good.
It's one of those, I want to dive right into it, and there's something I got to ask you about. It's
Sure.
you recently got your Sith Eternal Emperor, and I'm curious, how are you using them, and how do you like them so far?
Yeah, I've got them both unlocked now.
Okay.
I've got them both. Yeah, I've got them both done, which is cool. I've got Sith Eternal maxed out. I've got a couple of Zetas to go. I actually thought that I'd have a bit more time before I would max him out, to be fair. So I'm a bit low on the Zeta count. That still hurts a little bit. But overall, the impressions early on, there's something missing, Yeti. There's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but he's just not in as viable in arena as Luke is at the moment, even without the ultimate. I find Luke just that little bit more stable, which is a little bit not disappointing, but I sort of expected a bit more out of him. But I had this nagging feeling that there's a missing piece to the puzzle there somewhere, and it just makes me think of like when Darth Revan came out, for instance. We know that when Revan came out, he was great. But then when Malak came out, he was insane. I've got this feeling that there's still another piece of the puzzle still to drop yet that'll make him a lot more badass, I think you'd call it. But we'll have to just wait and see, man. But overall, he's still a great character, but I don't use him in arena yet. I still use Kylo. He's tried and tested. His damage output's off the chain. So he's just more stable for me at the moment.
Yeah, so what you were talking about, I think you're right on the money there. And more importantly than that, I'm thinking back to like the progression of the meta, right? So Kylo was clearly the meta when the last two GLs, it was the one to get, after the initial betting in period, where they're like, okay, this isn't quite where we want him. We're going to make him disgusting now. Okay, he's disgusting. Have fun, guys. And then they released, Vader, and Vader was like this easy counter to Rey. So like Rey went from being like actually pretty disgusting on defense to all of a sudden being like, okay, so if you place your Rey, they might 60 banner it. It's one of those. And then they released Jedi Luke, and Jedi Luke came in and is now offering like a good banner kill on Kylo. Your Jedi Luke nuke, right? So it was one of those where I'm looking at these kind of options and I'm going, I'm thinking there's going to be an epic confrontation character coming out soon that's going to be Sith or Sith adjacent, something like that, something that's going to synergize with SEE and make him a little bit more viable in the arena. Because it's an interesting one, because there's a lot of weird counter teams for him so far. I mean, obviously it's different comps, but in something like GAC, especially where you are in GAC, where you're going to be facing a lot of people like 3-4 Galactic Legends, and they're going to be relying on using something like their Sith Empire on one of your Galactic Legends or something. If you put them on defense. So they're not going to be able to put Sith Eternal Emperor with those Galactic Legends, with the Sith Empire guys. So that's where one of those ones where I'm like, I've seen, SEE with like just basic Sith, and some stuff like that, Sith Atreya and that kind of thing. And I've seen it
Well,
beat by,
that's all you can use, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can use. I mean, you can use. I mean, I've been testing out like most people have. I've been using obviously Darth Revan in there. I've been using Scion, Treya, Nihilus, and Sith Eternal. Sorry, Sith Trooper. Sith Empire Trooper. That's really all you can use that's viable, but it's still not enough.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, the whole team is built around tanks.
Yeah.
You've got to survive for Palps to get his ultimate up and running, and then he starts, ripping people apart. So it's just the viability is just still not there yet to get the ultimate up. It's still just, it takes too long. It's not enough of a boost, or you're not lingering around enough where, by the time he gets it off, you've lost 2 or 3 people before you start. And that just makes it even tougher. There should be more of a brick wall, I think, in front of him before he gets to his ultimate. I believe anyway. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But there has to be something else. There just has to be, because a little bit disappointing so far.
So one of the things I've noticed with Luke that people keep coming back to, and I've noticed it attacking it in the arena. One of my couple of my guild mates are also shard mates, and they've got all 4 Galactic Legends, and they're using JML in the arena because he just, under a JKL lead or with JKR, it just doesn't drop. Like he doesn't go out of
solid.
top 10. It's a really solid team.
It's solid as stable. Yeah. I mean, I tested off the bat, and again, remembering I'm still missing some Zetas, but still, it should be still pretty viable in arena anyway. But I mean, I normally don't drop any further than say 20, 25, 30 at the most. On a bad day. I tried SEE in there. And I dropped to about 55 overnight just to see how he went. That's just not. It's just not right. It's just. And again, yes, I'm missing Zetas as we mentioned, but still, he should be more stable than that. Dropping 40 spots overnight. I have a pretty competitive arena. I'm not going to lie. There's TI guys in there and all that sort of stuff, but still. For the investment that you have to put into these characters, Yeti, what's involved in getting them up and running. Oh, yeah. It probably just deserves, to be a bit more solid, a little bit more stable. But we'll have to wait, mate. We'll just have to wait.
One of the things that I've been noticing, because I'm really close to both the Lukes now. Like I should get the second Jedi Knight Luke comes back, I should be ready for ticket farming on Jedi Master Luke. So I'm like in this weird spot, but I've been looking at it and going, most of the best usage for Jedi Master Luke so far is if you're using him on offense against Kylo, like you're destroying Kylo in like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it's just really simple. But and then when you're using him on defense, he's never in that lead slot. So and there's no way to achieve the ult. I'm sitting there going, is the ult even needed? Like
and I mean, again, I think there's going to be more Jedis. I mean, this is the perfect time to get other Jedis up and running. I mean, let's be honest. Get Jedi Knight Guardian up there. Kiadi Mundi. Galactic Republic synergy. Why hasn't he got better Jedi synergy? And he might, but he doesn't yet. This is a time where they could be tweaking a lot of these guys. And I mean, we know CG likes making some coin. Now's the time to get the Jedis up and running. The ones that you don't use. Eth Koth. Get them up and running and make them viable and make them a faction that people need to invest into, because if a lot of people got him to 7-star early on, we know now that they're not viable, so a lot of people haven't. That means a lot of people haven't farmed them. That means that people need to invest into, put some cash in them. It gives you viable options.
100%. I think
sense.
You're touching on something that's just right there. I'm thinking, and you might agree with me on this, I think it's about time they do some more Galactic Republic and reworks. Start getting some of those.
Absolutely.
Get some of those old Jedi to get some proper synergy. Now that there's relic cams in the game and stuff, and they can really start seeing, that nobody's rushing to gear them because there's just not a point, right? Like they'll be like, okay, they'll use Barriss, and they'll do like. You'll see it with like Plo because he's got a ship, and Mace because he's got a ship, and these kind of Jedi that are there. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on there in the kits, and just a little bit of a touch up would be really. It doesn't.
Everyone loves a good touch up, Yeti. Everyone loves a good touch up, baby.
Especially if you're free.
So very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
I totally agree. I think now's definitely the time to Yeah, tweak a few characters. I mean, we don't know what's going on with Mace, you know. It's just, you know, we could go on for hours about that alone, let's be honest.
I'm pretty sure CG won't ever update him just so that they can fuck with Ram Bam. I think that's the plan.
Yes, and I totally endorse that. Let's be honest. I totally endorse that move. That should certainly. I feel for Ram Bam so bad. I give him so much crap. I really do. I can't help it. I
he's
do
a good
it,
sport,
but
he's really good about it.
He's good about it. He's good about it. But I do give him a fair bit of stick, and he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. He's going the distance a lot more than say Arnold did when it came to Grievous. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
He's given it everything he's got. But one day hopefully he will get it one day. But the problem is I don't think they reworked him well enough. I mean, you know that in the Sith Eternal Emperor event they gave us a better Mace. We had to go up against, and he's still shit. It's as simple as that. He's still trashed. So they still haven't got the formula right.
By Sidious, so.
Yeah. Hey, can I swear on this? I probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry, you might have to edit that out.
No, don't worry
I'm
about
allowed.
it.
That's okay. All right, that's cool. Because I got the button if we need it. So sorry about that.
It's one of those. I don't have 1,000 followers, so they can't demonetize me. It's beautiful.
Oh, okay, cool. No, that's it. Hey, I'm Matt. That's the way to go. I'm serious. It's nuts. You'd have to look over your shoulder. It's a lot better this way. Trust me.
Yeah. It's one of those where like I make those funny little adverts and stuff, and my hype train song stuff. My hype train song uses melodies from other things, and then I just kind of write in words that are goofy and whatnot. And they started going like, oh, well, we're not going to monetize this one. I'm like, you already have it. Like, you made it, so I can't. So, like, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to keep using it.
Yeah, that's right. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not making anything out of it, so get stuffed. That's it. That's what you do.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like if they start pulling the videos, then, yeah, sure, maybe I'll mute it or something. But until then, fuck you. I'll do whatever I want.
I'll swap you. I'd love that freedom again, just to go nuts. I mean, that's one great thing about Twitch. I mean, Twitch is awesome like that, where you can just the beauty of it is that you can just let rip. You can just be so much more creative, but that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of one of those funny ones. It's interesting to touch on because that's something that I think most of the people that are listening to this just haven't ever considered. That certain things have to be a certain way because of the medium that you're watching it on. And I think that's one of the big reasons why the creators love Twitch so much. It's just like it's easy to be seen. It's easy to have people jump between channels. It's easy to know who's going and what's going on, and you can. It's sort of like going to the grocery store and getting that mixed little mini boxes of cereal. You can try all the different flavors and see which one you like best.
Yeah. Best way to put it. This is what. Okay, so basically the best way you can put it is, YouTube's like going to Hooters. And Twitch is like going to the strip club. I mean, that's really probably the best comparison. You can just be a little bit more loose, a little bit more crazy. You still get the goodness for both. But that's probably the best explanation. But if I've offended people using that analogy, I'm sorry. But that's probably the best way to put it. But the creativity is certainly on Twitch. You can just be more genuine. I think that's the difference. You don't have to be looking over your shoulder. And people don't realise that you do need to look over your shoulder on YouTube. They ping you if you're not careful. They don't stuff around. They let you know that if you've stuffed up, it's like having Big Brother watching over your shoulder. Twitch is more like, whatever, just have fun, have at it.
I was really, really like worried about the YouTube stuff for a long time, and then I realized I'm like, until I get anywhere close to actually being able to monetize, it doesn't fucking matter. They're not pulling my videos, so I just leave it now. Before I was like always going back and editing whatever they said didn't work and all that stuff, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Just I'll put my stuff up, and if it gets traction and people start watching or whatever, then maybe I'll go back and be like, okay, this is one that I definitely should make sure there's no issues on, that kind of thing. But
a couple of edits down the track and you'd be right. Nothing you can't fix. That's easy.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely make it easy for you to fix it. They just also make it very easy for them to tell you that you need to fix it.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, obviously they've got to be a bit more friendly, and look, that's their decision. I mean, that's the job. But look, I know that a lot of people love YouTube and don't like Twitch. And I know that I've spoken to a lot of people about it, and they go, how come you're not on YouTube, dude? we get that quite a lot. I can't watch you on Twitch. I don't like Twitch. Well, that's fine. That's your decision. But if you want to actually see the best of us,
yeah, exactly.
You got to come across. You got to come across to Twitch. If you want to see the genuine us, you got to come to Twitch. If you want to see our opinion and a clean version of what we do, then stick with YouTube. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be sort of using both mediums. Where depending on what we do, there's no reason why we can't. I mean, there's no way you could play Cards Against Humanity Yeti on YouTube. Let's be honest.
Definitely not.
Man, those games are just freaking wild, brother, and you just couldn't get away with that. You just can't.
Well, there's some of them that I think I'll end up getting pinged from Twitch. I'm like, oh man, I might have to delete this stream.
Yeah, you'd be booted for some of those cards that pop up. Let's be honest, you'd be in so much freaking trouble. Yeah. You just couldn't do that, and which is a shame. I'd love to do more on YouTube 100%. Live. I'd love to, but again, it's just one of those things where it's just not worth the risk. That's the trick.
The thing that jumped in my mind when you were talking about the best version of you, the cleanest or the clean version or whatever, and I'm like, it's sort of like when you think about Eddie Murphy when he first did stand up, like he like him or Richard Pryor or something like that. There's no fucking way they could be on YouTube, but on Twitch, they could do some Twitch. They could do some Twitch. Yeah, like it's one of those.
They can loosen the collar and get the scotch out, kick back and be themselves and go a bit crazy. And that's how it feels. It is a whole different mindset where even before you go live. And again, we might be getting into the streaming too much. I'm sorry if we are, but it's one of those things where when you know that before you hit the go button, you can just let rip and anything goes. Yeah. It's a pretty cool feeling that you go, all right, let's just go after it and see how far we can push this.
Yeah, exactly.
Without getting into too much trouble, it's a lot of fun.
And as long as the chat is really into it, or like every now and then I'll like fire out something and someone will be like, "Ooh, no, let's not go there," and I'll be like, "Okay, fair." Like,
too far.
Like fair.
Yeah,
understandable.
The chat will keep you honest. Yeah, the chat will keep you honest. And, but that's a great thing. That is such a cool thing because
I like that. Because it lets everybody kind of police what's going on, right? Like especially with on some of the stuff, like when it's a big group of us on harpoons and beers, and when all of a sudden it's like it's like a marathon of everybody who's been drinking too much all night. And then every now and then the chat will be like, whoa, let's dial it back a bit. And you're like, okay, cool, got it.
It's like, yep. Just back it in. Just back it in. It's like, but that's it. But we do notice that's the best thing. I find the engagement is fantastic on that platform. It's great. I mean, the rating stuff is just so much fun. It really is so much fun. I really enjoy the rating aspect of it. And it's that's great for me.
You jump at somebody's channel and you've got them live and you watch them going nuts when you've got a big raid coming at them and stuff. Like it's always like, oh fuck, here we go, and it comes out of nowhere, which is the beautiful part. Like you could just be having like a really kind of chill, very serious moment, and all of a sudden it's like, HynesyANZGC is raiding you with 70 people, and you're like, holy fucking shit, here we go.
Look, it's fun for the people that we raid. It really is. Yeah. I get a massive kick, and this is what people don't realize. There is nothing better for me than going, okay, let's get someone who's got next to no one, who's trying their hardest to get up and running, and there's nothing better than going, okay guys, who are we going to raid? Who's got like 1 or 2 people watching? Who do you guys want to see that we can give a bit of a bump along? And then they just start throwing names out there and just go, yeah, all right, let's try this guy. We haven't rated him before. Let's give him some love. But before we hit the go button, I love bringing his stream up. I love the reaction. It's the best because you never know what to expect. I get a huge kick of that. And when you get guys jumping in, I think, we did it to you a little while ago, I think, didn't we? Yeah. And a few others. And all of a sudden when a raid pops up and there's heaps of people there and this guy just goes, fucking what? Like the look on the face is like, is this for real? Yeah. But I remember that happening to me, early on. When I first came onto Twitch, it was like, what the hell's this raid thing? Where's all these people coming from? Like, I remember that feeling. It was unreal. And the good thing with Twitch is you can pay it forward. But I get by far the biggest kick I get out of being on Twitch is being able to raid someone who's up and coming and watch them lose their mind. It's so cool. I get a massive thrill out of that. I really do.
I remember one morning, my time, We were all coming from your channel. We raided into Berkey Burke, and
Yes.
and you had like
Yes.
120 people or something, and he was just like, ho, ho, ho. He was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. What's this?
It's so good. It's so good. Look, and yeah, look, Bookie's a perfect example. It was great.
Yeah.
We jumped into him and he lost his mind, and he's such a great guy. I'd never met him before. I'd never spoken to him before. We just, let's just jump into this guy. He's doing heroes, so let's go see what he's made of. And since then he's been on as a guest afterwards. I was so wrapped with him. It was like, dude, we got to do something together because you got cool energy, you got a good vibe, and let's have some fun with it. Let's come on as a guest. And well, the rest is history. The guy's killing it. So no, I get a kick out of that. And Jaina now is starting to do that. For those that don't know, one of our mods who's fantastic, Jaina. She started streaming only a few days ago. When we recorded this, and go give her some love as well. That's MBZ.
MBZ with a double E on the Z.
Yeah, MBZ double E, and I think there's an underscore as well at the end. But go give her some love, guys, because seriously, she it was only like a month ago that I'd even seen her for the very first time, like on camera. Like I've known her for a long time in my community, just chatting and voice and posts and stuff like that. I've known her for a long time, but never actually had seen her before. And she's quite a reserved person, or has been. And I said, look, just get out there and come and hang out with us. Can you get on video or what? Like I laid it out pretty thick, a while ago when we came to a ladies' night. I said, come on, get on camera, cut it out, let's go. And she dropped on and she loved it, but it was great for her confidence, which is something that a lot of people certainly do struggle with, and have for a long time, and now she's streaming on her own. She started a few days ago, and she sent me a message, later afterwards after she'd finished, and said, I'm just so loving this. This is fantastic, and it's a thrill, but it's been great for her confidence. It really has been good to see her blossom from, someone in the background to someone at the front of the camera. It's really, really cool. Like it's I'm sorry if I'm going on and on, but
no, it's all right.
I'm sorry, guys, if you're not enjoying this, if I'm rambling a bit, but it's just, there's little milestones that I get a huge thrill out of. I really do.
You actually had a really big milestone recently. Your 1,000 followers there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I never thought 5 people were going to watch. I'm not going to lie.
I was honestly in the same boat. I was like, someone was like, hey, have you ever thought about live streaming? I kind of like your videos. Why don't you go live? And I'm like, what if I have nobody show up? I'll just be sitting there like, oh, we got a viewer.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but we all started with one. We all started with one. And I mean, my biggest issue was actually, well, not my biggest issue, but my biggest concern was going across to Twitch from YouTube. That was huge. That was a real concern in the back of my mind when Twitch popped up as a viable option, because obviously Urs led the way with that at the time. And it was a case of, I hadn't really heard much about Twitch. I'm not going to lie. It was all, I'd spent 9 months building up a YouTube, audience, and it's like, okay, do I really want to stop everything that I've been building off and go to a brand new platform and start again? And it was a huge leap of faith. It really was. It was like, do I or don't I? Do I or don't I? And haven't looked back.
I was in the exact same spot. I've been making basically videos for a really long time on YouTube. So basically, since I started playing the game, I started. I was recording my first ever GAC is on YouTube. Basically, my first ever GA ever. All that kind of stuff. And I was putting together beginners videos as I was learning. I was like, okay, this is something that helped me, or this is something that somebody was asking me about, and I was like, I'll make a little video on that and see. And so when I finally moved over to Twitch, I think I only had 200 or something followers on YouTube, but I was kind of worried that it wouldn't translate, or that it wouldn't work well on the YouTube and I'd lose those people or whatever. And it was a really weird feeling. I'm like, but at the same time, I was so far from monetization on YouTube, and I put so much work into the channel and making videos and trying to put content and stuff, and I was just like, man, it's really just like a hop, skip, and a jump. And then weirdly, I went to Twitch and I got to the first, the affiliate really fast, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't expect that at all. And then I was like, damn it, why didn't I come here earlier? You're like,
Yeah, and that's right. And look, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. You don't just walk up and go, hey, check me out. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of work involved. It's massive. I mean, Yeti, I don't need to tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all good and well, and it's all good just to jump in front of a camera and then just watch everything go off. No, doesn't work that way at all. There is just a crazy amount of work that's involved, but it's satisfying as well. It really is satisfying if you do put it in. But yeah, don't think you can just pop up and go, hey, let's go. I mean, you've got guys like, some of the biggest guys that cover it, Cubs and and obviously Arnold on YouTube as well. They've dedicated thousands and thousands of hours of tuning their streams and performances so that when they go live, it's game on. Like they're ready to go. That stuff just doesn't happen. It's all the background work that you don't even see, and all the work with mods. The mods in chat. Pre and post, and there's just so much work involved. You can't just go, okay, I'm sitting in front of a camera now. Come and watch me. You just doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way at all.
I was talking about it a little bit with Zareth and like Klesso and stuff when I was chatting with them, and also there's a lot to actually playing the fights and following chat and
trying to keep everything.
Like there's a lot going on where it's really easy to get like kind of distracted and screw off and just end up losing what should have been a slam dunk, And and then there's the added thing of like if something goes wrong and then you're tilted and then you make more mistakes because you're not thinking because now you're just pissed off and you're trying not to be super pissed off and you're just like, God damn it, and then things keep going wrong and you're like, this is like snowballing out of control.
You go, can I turn the camera off now, please? Like you get days like that where things just don't go your way, but you've got to run with that. You've got to try and. You just, I mean, it's all part of it. It really is. And it's certainly very frustrating because you can do better. You've played better. Like I'll look at my territory war performance and that shits all over my GAC performance. It really does. I play war so much better than I do GAC. But you're right. There's so many distractions. You've got to keep up with chat and engage with them. You've got to make sure that you're making the right moves when it comes to the gameplay. You've got to make sure that, the stream's even still alive and running, and it's healthy and there's no issues with the stream going out to people. If you've got a guest on, you've got to engage with your guest as well. And then, of course, you've got to have, in our case, the obligatory ridiculous amount of alcohol, which, of course, doesn't give you the best decisions either.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's our decision. We decide to do it that way. I mean, people don't watch me for tips and tricks. They watch me to see when I stuff up. Let's be honest, and that's fine. Yeah. I accept that. But yeah, I know that, if I was sitting on the toilet or if I was sitting on the couch at home playing the game one-on-one like I have in the past, before we're doing any of this, I'd certainly be performing a lot better on the leaderboard. But my decision is that I don't want to do it that way. And the guys that watch me want to see me stuff up. They really do. It's more fun.
Well, it's that song. The preload song is the greatest song. It's just the greatest song.
It's the greatest song. At the same time, it's the freaking worst song ever invented. It gives me the shits. Scotty McLaren, he said, dude, I've got this cool song just to muck around with. I think it's a bit of a laugh. You should try this out one time. It's like, okay. Well, geez.
Yeah.
The rest is history. It's okay. If I thought 12 months ago that I'd be known as a guy who preloads his battles and have a preloading song, and that would be, the draw card to my stream, I would have called you a Muppet. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I never thought that would ever be the case, but it's grown into something that people enjoy and like, and they love me making mistakes. And as long as I don't do it when the cameras are off, it's fine. GAC's funny, isn't it, Yeti? I mean, I don't need to tell you, man. I mean, people treat GAC in different ways. You've got guys that are super, super tuned and they must win at all costs. And then you've got guys that, set zero defense and, just an auto defense and, you got to try and battle through that. But you got guys that actually just like having fun with it and mucking around with their friends and just, hey, let's do this. Let's try this. Let's chuck Rose in there because we can. Like that's just an example of things that we do, and it's like, why not? There's different people treat it in different ways. you got Mort that is making sure that he keeps his winning streak up. Good on him.
Yeah.
That's great. I'd love to win a couple more along the way for sure. But I could chuck 4 Galactic Legends on the front row of every defense and just see what I can do for the rest if I wanted.
Yeah.
But what's the point of that? That's not fun to watch. That's shit. You want to have fun with your toys. That, from my point of view, anyway.
That's always the hardest line that I pull, because I'm pretty successful in GAC, and it's one of those that I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit like Mort in the sense where I'll just like scout the opponent out, know exactly what they can do against what, and then be like, all right, here's a defense that I'm pretty sure you're fucked on. And then I'm pretty sure I have what it takes to clear whatever I can clear on yours that I know. I've already kind of like done the mental math, and I'm like, okay, so we're just going to ignore his Galactic Legend. We know it's going to be there. We're going to place ours there like a nuclear arms race. So if he takes his on offense, it doesn't change the result. And it's like one of those. I'm like, okay, so now, and I'm like, is that enough? Is that enough teams? Like, I kind of need to be able to clear so many teams so it takes so very long and we can all have fun. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I kind of just want to just shoot the gap and try to full clear, just because that'll be a lot more fun. But, it's always one of those where it comes back. And now with the GAC network thing and people are getting really serious about that, you're like, well, now I kind of like, I have people looking over my shoulder, so I can't have too much fun with it. Like, I remember I did something goofy once and they were talking about it for like 2 weeks. And I was just like, okay, well, we can't do that anymore, because that's just like, it just kind of keeps coming back.
Well, you can, but you just got to not worry about stuff like that. I mean, that's the thing.
No,
I mean,
it just becomes like a topic of conversation, and you don't want it to become the whole narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And again, obviously, you want to, you have to make sure that you look successful so you're legitimate. But the problem is that in my GAC bracket, which is over 7 mil, it's brutal as hell anyway. And I could, as I said, I could switch everything around to, okay, I'm not going to have a beer. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to get my mods in place. I'm going to make sure that we get everything right. I'm going to make sure that we perform and we win every day, every time. Well, boring, man. I mean, for me, it's like
that takes away something from your fun and from the fun of the crowd and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I do that in Territory War. I mean, that's the thing. I do all of that in Territory War. For me, when it comes to GAC, it's like, okay, this is time for me. This is where I can let my hair down a bit and have some fun and muck around with some friends and, make something out of nothing and enjoy, all hanging out together. And really, that's just, GAC for me is just a vehicle to be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a facilitator. But everyone approaches in different ways.
GAC now, for me, I look at it sort of like you do, I think. It's more like, this is like going to the pub with your mates now, because there's no more pubs.
Yep. Well, yeah, we haven't had an open for about 8 weeks at the time we record this. So they're just opening now. So, yeah, we haven't actually physically been able to go to a pub since about, I think, April. So, and it's killing me, brother. I'm not going to lie.
It's a big social thing that's been kind of taken away from everybody just to combat, the current situation. That's one of the beautiful things about Twitch, is it feels a little bit like that. Like I feel a little bit like my stream almost feels like I'm in Liverpool and I'm back when I was living there, and I'm like in the pub with my mates and we're all just being stupid, and it's just a lot of fun. And we're standing in a big circle, like talking about the girls that may or may not be there, but we're not paying attention because we're just being goofs, like
just hanging out the back around the pool hall, around the pool table, and we're having a couple of pints and kicking back, taking it easy and having a laugh. And you know what? If you can't have a laugh, there's no point in living. I mean, let's be honest. If you can't have a laugh, and if you can't laugh at yourself, what's the point? What's the point?
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one 100%.
No, I agree. It's just, it's certainly just a great experience. I mean, my life's changed because of this. I mean, I never thought that, I'd be doing this at all. Again, I never thought people would watch, let alone, what we've been able to do. And then, you got guys like, Grid, who is just hilarious. He's just amazing, and every guest we've had on, I mean, yourself, Yeti, perfect example. I mean, it's everyone wants to engage and have fun with it and enjoy. And you know what? We need a lot of that in our lives at the moment,
For sure.
COVID's pretty messed up. We're finally getting on the right side of it here in Melbourne, which is great where I live. But it's been, we've all been shut down, guys, and the US are hurting, and we our hearts reach out to you guys, and we hope you get on top of it sooner rather than later, because it's pretty horrific. Canada, you're going into another wave as well at the moment, aren't you, brother? Is that right?
A little bit. So
Yeah.
where I'm at in Montreal, like we got shut down again, but not fully. It's just some of the superfluous stuff got taken away again. So
Yeah, okay. So stay home if you can type deal, and just pull your head in a bit.
Yeah, basically, and it's one of those. It's a weird situation because, I can still travel to the States, and I think I am in December. I'm going to go for the holiday season, go visit like my family down there, and then
Nice.
but it's strange because like they couldn't come up here. Like my brother, who's actually a Canadian citizen, he was trying to bring his girlfriend up for a visit, and he just couldn't. They couldn't get through the border because she's an American citizen, and they're just like there's a full-on embargo, so they wouldn't be able to board the plane if they went to the airport. So he had to cancel the trip and everything, and it's just that's a weird situation to be in because all of a sudden it's like ooh, because before I never really thought of the U.S.-Canada border as really a barrier. It was just like like they let us.
Oh man, we took that shit to a whole different level down here. Okay. So in my state, so just one state, there's in Victoria, Melbourne, capital city Melbourne, Victoria. We had a full state lockdown. Stage 4 we went to. So long story short is that any essential service workers, so police, fire, all that sort of stuff, for 8 weeks. They were allowed to work, but no one else was allowed to work. Everyone had to stay home. Yeah. No one was allowed to go to work. If you needed to go to the grocery store, only one person was allowed to go. Everyone else had to stay home. One person could go, maximum an hour, then get your butt back home again, right? And then, it got to the point where this happened for 8 weeks. Everyone had to stay home. Schools were closed. Everything was shut. And we went from, whilst it doesn't seem much from a numbers point of view, especially when you're talking to guys in the US, we were topping out here, which, we got about 2 million people I think 2-3 million people in my state. We got up to about 750 cases a day, before lockdown. 8 weeks later, we're at 0.
Yeah.
It worked. It sucked. And a lot of businesses have shut because of it. It's not ideal, but again, it worked though, and it's one of those things where we're back to normal, which is cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to rubber band through something to get it down to 0 basically, and to get it done and get it over with.
Yeah. And we didn't like it, but everyone said, you know what, we know why we're doing it, and it makes sense, so let's go for it. Everyone had that same thought, and it got hairy near the end, and Mrs. H, I was giving her the shits, let's be honest. By the time we got near the end there, she said, right, I want you back at work, you're giving me the shits. So it got to that point, Yeti. It got to that point, mate, where, I was going to be sleeping in the studio or the garage or whatever else, mate. It's like, get the hell out of my face, you give me the absolute shits. It's like, okay, time to go back to work now. That's about it.
And speaking of good things to do at home, Mandalorian, the new episode just came out for season 2.
Oh, how good is that?
I haven't watched it yet, so I'm going to watch it this afternoon, and I think we're going to do a little discussion stream about it later tonight. So I got a nice beer for that, so that'll be fun.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna spoil it. No spoilers here, man. But make sure you watch the end, please. No spoilers.
I'm going to be
incredible.
I'm going to be watching it in about an hour. It's one of those, I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to have a shower, and then I'm going to lay down on the sofa and just enjoy.
Oh, mate. There's an old Australian entertainer, Molly Meldrum, and his catchphrase was, do yourself a favour. Dude, do yourself a favour. You will enjoy this. It is the best way to start a brand new series again, new season.
Oh, yeah.
It hit every mark. It's so good. Really is. You'll love it.
I know.
You'll love it.
Just everybody's super looking forward to it as well. So it's like one of those, like last night I was doing a KOTOR stream and I was just playing. I was playing till like 4 a.m. and stuff, and people were showing up, 2 hours into my stream, and they're like, oh, mate, I just set an alarm so I could wake up and watch Mandalorian like right when it came out. It's like, I'm about to watch it. I'm so hyped, and I'm just like, that's dedication right there. Like, okay, I'm going to have a little nap. I'm going to watch the show, and then I'm going to go back to bed or try to go back to bed and then go to work the next day,
Well, see, finally, time zones don't suck for Australians when it comes to Mando. Obviously, it's what, about midnight your time or just after when it comes out? Is that right? Roughly?
Yeah, it's like comes out like at midnight or 1, I think, something like that.
1 a.m., something like that? Yeah. Okay, so here in Melbourne, it's Friday afternoon. It's 6 o'clock when it launches. 6 o'clock in the evening.
It's perfect.
It is just
time too.
It is just mate. I just finished work 30 minutes before. Sit back and rip into Mando. It is just, oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I watched it with the patrons last night for the first time, which was cool. We had a bit of a watch party. That was fun.
Yeah, nice.
So we did that, and we watched Spaceballs straight after it. That was even better. I haven't seen Spaceballs forever. We did a Spaceballs watch party. We did Borat during the week. That was hilarious.
The new one.
Yeah, the new one. That was great. So we did a watch party for the new Borat. And I think the next one we're going to watch is, it was a toss-up between Eurotrip or the other one was Dodgeball, I think was next. One of those two.
I love that Eurotrip one. When I was living in Europe, I watched that all the time, like flying to different places or going on trains or something like that. And it's just, there's so many just like moments where you're just like, yep, I kind of, like it's good. Yeah. And then, of course, my favorite part is like, oh, here's a Fromer's fun fact. Dude, you made out with your sister.
You know, I'm imagining you right now, Yeti, sitting in the train when you've got a bit of Miss Scusi action going on you, brother. I can see that. But
he was an interesting Aussie fella. He looked kind of like you, but with more hair. Oh, wait a minute.
It couldn't be me, man. I didn't. That guy had a great little porn moustache action going on. I haven't got that shit. It definitely wasn't me, unless it was drawn on with a Sharpie. It definitely wasn't me. Might have been my cousin. It wasn't me though.
Swinging back to the game right quick. So what's next for your account? What are you going to work on now?
Dude, I'm in a great position. I'm in such a great spot at the moment with the account. I've got all the legends done, right? Yeah. I love just before when Rey and Kylo dropped and I'd finished them. Yeah. I thought, you beauty. I'm now at the point that I can actually start farming the things I actually want to farm again. That is such a good feeling. It really is. So I actually knocked out. Who did I knock out at the time? Knocked out Grief Karga and knocked out Mando, which are ones that I wanted to get done, and I knocked them out. And then the day after I finished Grief, then the new Legends dropped. I had like a 2-week window. I had like a 2-week window from finishing off Kylo, because I'd done Rey first. 2-week window from finishing Kylo to the new ones being announced. And it's like, here we go again. But these guys haven't been anywhere near as bad. Requirements wise as the first two, which was great, because I was like all of us, we were going, here we go again, you know. They've been easier, and when I say easier, you know, I'm pay to play, you know. I'm a whale, so you know, I'm the first one to admit it, and that's my choice. My choice. Big shout out to anyone that's free to play in this game. I don't have the patience for it, but heaps and heaps of respect for you guys. You know that. I've said that before. Yeah. Man, you know what I'm farming right now? I'm farming my troopers. Nice. Right this moment. I'm thrilled. I've been wanting to get around to maxing out the pimp trooper and taking him up to relics. You know, I've got the finisher piece I'm working on at the moment for him. Death Trooper's getting some love. Nice. I actually took even like the Sith Empire trooper. I finally took him to Relic 7 as well to make him a bit more solid for Palps, new Palps. So I've got him at Relic 7 now. I've just done, which is great. I'm farming the troopers at the moment, and then I actually, believe it or not, I'm going to be in the position where I don't know what I'm going to farm next. Which is kind of cool. It's something that I haven't had to worry about for some time, but hey, there's always a new character come along soon, isn't there, Yeti? So
yeah, that's true. We should be expecting a new one soon. I'm assuming the with Mando dropping, and we've got IG-11 announced, and we've got like Quill's announced. So I mean, right there, that's 5, right? So that's gonna be leading to a legendary. I mean, we can all understand that's happening. You know, if you guys have, I know you've had, but I mean, for listeners, if you guys haven't started working on those characters, I mean, there's going to be a very strong legendary dropping. I assume it's going to be something like, you know what? Oh, there was a weird shout that I really liked. It was the Forge Master. You know, that
would be cool, but I don't think it will. I reckon it'd be great.
Everybody says Moff Gideon. Everyone says that.
Yeah, Gideon I think is the obvious choice. I think that makes sense. He's the Bond villain, you know, of Mando. They're setting him up to be the evil guy. And again, another reason why I'm working on my troopers. I think he's going to give him a bit of a boost. I really do. I thought Piet works well with with troopers. You know,
He
Admiral
works
Piet that came out.
really well with troopers. Yeah.
He does, but he's so much better on a Vader team.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I use him on EP Vader all the time. He just really makes them just super solid.
And with his kit, I think he was meant to work with Vader. I think they specifically wanted Piet with Vader. So I could see Gideon being the Piet replacement in the new Troopers team. I could see that, especially with his interactions with Death Trooper in the actual show. I think it'll be one of those where Death Trooper finally gets that kind of protect, kind of unique, a little touch up to Death Trooper that works with Krennic and or Moff Gideon, because that's who they were protecting in the respective films that they were.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, Krennic's got, you know, I wish Krennic had a little bit better synergy with Troopers overall.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would have been great if that was done back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Gideon is certainly, you know, a missing piece of the puzzle. If he drops, I mean, who wouldn't want another character with the Darksaber in it, man? Who wouldn't? Let's be honest. So that would be super cool. I'm absolutely looking forward to working on. I can't wait to get my troopers done, and hopefully Gideon drops, and then I've got another damn solid faction, you know, to play with. That's something I'm certainly looking forward to if it all goes to plan.
100%. That's actually probably why I'm going to be working on Sith Eternal Emperor after JML, just for the simple fact I want troopers. I've wanted them for forever, but there's always been something in front of them, always, and it's just always like, okay, do I farm this or do I go for the fun faction? Okay, we'll go for the one with more viability. Like, it's one of those, and I just you know, I'm getting to that point where I'm like, you know, I'm so glad I've like banged out all of the legendaries and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, is this finally the time where I can get a decent troopers team put together?
Yeah, and I think that probably that actually, when you think about that, you say that's one that I've always wanted. We should be encouraging more of that. I think that the problem with Galactic Legend farming is that everyone's got the same teams, everyone's got the same lineups. There's no variety in GAC matchups because you know what people already have because of the minimum requirements for certain characters. So I think that actually even makes GAC a little bit stale, to be fair, because you don't have that variety in there that I think would be great if we had. I'd love to come up against more like Relic 7 Phoenix and stuff like that. That would be cool. You just don't see that.
And not only that, you don't know exactly what's going to beat that. And so there's going to be a lot of questions asked. Like, does anybody know how to beat like a God-modded Relic 7 fucking Phoenix team? And everybody will, like, people will be throwing out bullshit that just seems like not enough. And then people will be throwing out overkill. And you're like, I don't know if I want to spend that there, but...
Yeah,
I mean,
and you can get caught out. You know, strategically, you can get caught out because you've used a solid counter that, you know, you don't want to run the risk of dropping a battle, but on the flip side, you don't want to waste too much, so you get caught out at the end game too. It's you want to be able to be thinking in the back of your mind or second guessing yourself in your mind, should I be doing this or not? You know, and I mean that would certainly reinvigorate, you know, GAC a little bit more as well. Not that GAC is bad, but any way that we can make GAC better. How's that a bad thing? Because, you know, that's the vehicle that's keeping this game running, let's be honest.
So one of the things that I actually like about these two new Galactic Legends in their kind of weakened state is they're not good on defense. Neither of them are good on defense. And I like that. Because the biggest antithesis to the game and to fun and everything is, of the 7 teams I have to face, 4 of them are going to be Galactic Legends, and then there'll be 3 probable meta teams. You know, like, that's what I'm going to be facing. Fun. Every single person setting the same shit. And I don't want that. Like, that's one of the things that I specifically don't want this game to devolve into. I think they got to do something about that. So I don't mind them being so light on defense. Like, I kind of originally, I got Kylo before the change, or I started working on him before the changes to him. You know, like, I committed to getting him. For the biggest reason was, at the time, Rey was so disgusting on defense that I was like, I don't even care if Kylo can't hold. I just want to kill fucking Rey. Because I know everybody that has her is going to put her on defense, and I just need a way to make sure I one-shot it every single time. And so that was my whole goal, and then they made him sick, and now he's ridiculous on defense, and I rarely use him on offense because most of the people I go up against still can't do anything about it. And that's right. I hate that because it's such a lazy tactical decision, but you're just like, well,
but it's one you have to make if you want to win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. I mean, if you want to be successful, you have to do that, and that's what I mean. I mean, we've got great variety now. I mean, look, I'm loving the whole, and it is to an extent a rock paper scissors type thing with the legends. I mean, you know, that's something that we asked for, and we had it for a while, didn't we? We had it. We had Darth Revan, we had Jedi Knight Revan, we had Grievous, and we had Padme. We had the four of them switching around in arena. It was fantastic.
That was the best meta that I've ever experienced in this game. When
totally agree.
When G13 first came in, and you had the Padme teams climbing on everything, you had Grievous teams climbing on basically everything, you had Darth Revan, Malak teams climbing on everything, and it was one of those where I was switching between teams. That was the crazy thing. Like on some opponents, I was using my Jedi Knight Revan with Jedi Anakin against their specific Darth Revan team because of the speeds. Then sometimes I was using my Padme team versus them because of the speeds, the way it all worked out.
Yeah.
And then you'd have these weird Grievous teams out of nowhere that just kind of showed up, you know, because the guy had like G9, droids with like a R7 Grievous, and he was just ripping through everybody on the way up the climb. Yep. It was such a fucking amazing.
And then you had the nuke teams as well.
Yeah,
you had the nuke teams, which was cool. You know, there was just so many different. The variety was there. I do believe that's when, you know, when Arena specifically was certainly at its highlight. When at that phase for that window there, that was just a lot of fun back then. And you had to think, okay, how am I gonna climb? Not okay, am I gonna use this and hit auto, or am I gonna rip through this? And you had to think more. You had to be a bit more clever with it. And I think that was fun. It was a lot of fun then.
Yeah, and it's one of those. I think there's a chance that it could kind of move sort of more towards that, because against other Galactic Legends, you know, Kylo is pretty beatable, except for Sith Eternal Emperor, who doesn't really have a method to kill him yet. But like I said, I think there's going to be an epic confrontation kind of character that works with him, even if it's not a synergistic one. I think there'll be an interaction that allows him to actually kill him, because. Using the Treya Thrawn thing with Sith Eternal Emperor, from what I've seen in my guildmate in my Shard, whose only Galactic Legend is Sith Eternal Emperor, it doesn't work very well against double tank Kylo, which is in my Shard is what everybody leaves. Like it's just always the double tank. And
same. I mean, that's what I've been running too. It's solid. It doesn't drop. You know, it's not much fun, but it works.
Oh, it's funny though. I've tested it against some JMLs, and I mean, I've had fights where I get deleted in like 20 seconds, and it's just like, okay, well, there we go.
Yeah, it's a good idea at the time.
It's like it sounded like a great plan.
But, it's just funny balance, and look, there's just so many smart people, you know, in our community, anyways, and they're theory crafters, and you know, smarter people than myself, that's for sure. You know, that just come up with concepts and ideas that you just wouldn't even contemplate. It's fantastic. And, you know, and to those guys, keep doing that. Keep it up. We notice it. You know, we really appreciate it. It's great because, you know, there's so many clever people here, and, you know, it helps everyone. It really does. This community, dude, is something that I've never, ever seen. And I don't think I ever will again.
Like, more importantly than that, this is
absolutely incredible.
It's such an inclusive community too. What I've noticed, especially on Twitch, I mean, the content creators all pretty much support themselves. All the viewers kind of support all the different people that they enjoy, and like, you know, they all want to spread around. Like there's times when I'll have like 4 streams open just because I want to give these guys views, you know, and it's just one of those where, you know, I stop in and say hi and stuff. And it's funny, we actually got a Yeti sighting right now because he's been demanding attention for about 10 minutes, so had to give him a couple of scratches.
Oh, that's crazy. Little snuggle there. Dude, you look like a Bond villain right there. Have a look. Just stroking your cat. Bald guy stroking a cat. I've seen movies like that, man. I've seen, you know, world domination shit there. Just saying.
It's like, yes, Mr. Bond, tell me what you will do.
I'll have a martini, please.
Yes.
While I play with my magic secret watch that blows shit up.
It's like, Spectre 7, please report.
Money penny. That's crazy. Hey, dude, it's classic. But no, it's the community's nuts, guys. Keep it up. And support everyone. I mean, that's what it's all about. Guys, they're putting themselves out there. They're spending time of their lives for you. So you can hang out with them. Give them everything they've got. You know, they deserve it. They really do. Anyone that puts their head in front of a camera, you know, gets my respect, because whilst it seems easy, It's far from it. It really is, and
There's a lot of
you have
work
to
scenes
you have to cop abuse, you have to cop insults, you got to cop a lot of stuff. Chat can be brutal, but I love that. I thrive on that myself. But anyone out there that is certainly streaming our wonderful game, the more people doing it, the better. I think the healthier our game is.
And the more chance the game has to grow, I think. The more people are interacting with it and everything like that. So it's a good sign when we start seeing, like with Urs returning. Now we're seeing 500 people at one time watching Star Wars Galaxy Heroes on Twitch. I don't think I've ever seen 500 people watching Star Wars Galaxy Heroes on Twitch.
Urs, Warriors back. You got Cubs doing some fantastic stuff as well. You just have some amazing people. Arnold, of course. Hello, duh. The more the better. It's fantastic. It's so good. We want it to grow, and we need these guys to keep bringing it week after week after week. Every time they hit the go button, we've got to hang in there and give everyone some support, guys. That's what it's all about. Because if we don't do that, then our game needs as much exposure as we can give it. CG making coin out of it, but we want to make fun out of it. So let's make it our own, and let's keep bringing the fun.
Yeah, like we're all playing this game for fun. We're all playing because we love the IP, and it's something that we've all made this decision. We're going to spend this many hours a week, playing this mobile game that we've one way or the other have tied ourselves to, and so it's one of those, like, anything that can make it more exciting, more fun, get it more interactive, get me more involved with it. I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic.
We're all Star Wars nerds, Yeti.
Yeah,
dude.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be doing this if we weren't. We're all the same. Every one of us is the same. We all wear our Star Wars t-shirts with pride. And
I am literally wearing one right now.
Well, there you go. That's it, man. At the moment, I would wear one if I could, but my rack looks too good to wear one right now.
I know. When you shave, when you wax the chest for us, I mean that's going all out, brother. I really appreciate that.
Look. When a Canadian says, "Hey, can you come and hang out?" I always get my chest waxed. That's just a done deal. I just do that all the time. The bikini line's looking pretty red hot at the moment as well. I'm not going to lie. Well, I've got it all going on.
When you share and stone us later, it'll be perfect. After we finish recording and you just put that
Hynesy's OnlyFans page, guys, come check it out. Dead set.
With that in mind, man, I know I've been chatting your ear off for almost an hour, and I know you got to go to work, so maybe we should wind her down, and let me thank you so much for coming out and give me your time here and come out here and have a chat about the game, about streaming, about life. And it's really great to have you here, and I hope to have you again because that was a lot of fun.
Dude, it's been a pleasure, Yeti. Not gonna lie, man. Keep doing that great work, brother. On Twitch as well. You're doing some amazing stuff. No, it's been a pleasure. And look, absolutely, man. I'd love to come back. I'd love for you. Yeah, if you guys want to put up with me, I'd be more than happy to come back and chat anytime, man. We could have gone on for hours and hours and hours on a lot of different aspects. Well, but I'd love to do that at some point. Absolutely, for sure.
That was the funniest part. I looked down. I'm like, I think we got about 20 or 30 minutes still to go, and I'm like, oh, we got 3 minutes.
Well, that means we're having a good time, right? Because if you forget what's going on with the clock, that means that you're enjoying yourself. So. Man, I could, I love this game. I love the people and the community, and look, anything I can do. I've always been open and saying, look, happy to help in any way I can. You know that.
Well, so, I mean, keep up the good work, man. I mean, it's some of the most fun I have on Twitch is in your channel. Goofing off, and especially when you have me on there and we're all just boozing and being jackasses. It's a magnificent time. It's genuinely fantastic.
It's only as good as the people that come on, man. Let's be honest. It makes a difference. It's just awesome. But the support, man, I've had is just, I can't even explain it, mate. I mean, our Patreons are just insane people. They make us look so good. They really do. And everyone that watches, let us know, guys. Come and say hello in chat. Don't be shy. Say hi in chat. We'll give you a shout out. That's what it's all about. We want to engage with you guys, so give us that option, and keep coming back for more. Because you do that, we'll keep bringing it for sure.
Absolutely, we will. That's basically we're sort of like the U.S. Postal Service. Come rain or shine, we are here on Twitch making asses out of ourselves.
Yeah. Whereas when Yeti's around, everyone's just making it rain, baby, because that he's a hot unit. Just always making it rain, baby. It's quality.
Oh yeah, baby.
So very nice.
So very nice. Okay, so guys, if you don't know Hynesy, I'm stunned if you don't. But the link to his Twitch is going to be in the description down below. So do click on and go have a look. His YouTube's going to be there as well. So if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, you should go check that out. He does very, very specifically his Friday night Gridsy sessions. You know, harpoons and beers is legitimately some of the most fun you're ever going to have on Twitch. So definitely go and check that out. It starts about midnight Eastern time, and it goes on till Hynesy falls over. So, or sorry, till Grids falls asleep. You know,
till Grid falls asleep and passes out and goes and to vomit in the
midstream.
toilet. Anything's possible. You can't pick it. I haven't fallen asleep yet, which is great because I've got to hit the stop button.
Yeah. But oh, you don't want to do a Paul from the Skate podcast, right?
Yeah, no, we don't want to do a put. Well, I mean, you know, I can get my gear off, but again, that's OnlyFans. I tell you what, I might go. I mean, looking at how I'm looking right now, I might go get my own gear off. I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go and examine myself a little bit further, if you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty happy with how I'm looking right now, so I'm gonna go check myself out.
It's like that film's about to be a shower scene, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna record the shit out of that. I ain't streaming that. That's bonus footage, baby. Bonus footage that.
So guys, if you like the video, go ahead and give us a subscribe. And do like the video and come back for more. We're going to have more episodes of Strat Chat coming up. Thanks again to Hynesy for coming out. Really appreciate it, man. It was so good having you here. It was a great chat. And I hope to see you again soon in Twitchland.
Love you, brother. We'll see you soon. Absolutely. We'll have you on.